What is up, Hardcore Nation? It's Hardcore Christopher here, and what does the Sage of Stupidity have to say this time? Well, stick with me and we'll find out together. This is Quantum TV versus Actman, the Ugly Truth Quantum TV podcast. This guy must really think highly of himself. So, before we get started, I'd just like to say thank you all for growing the little community that I have on YouTube. And, well, oh yes, I will also be pausing and playing the video over and over and over again. And that's just because I don't want to get yelled at by Quantum TV. Like I actually care. But hey, it is what it is. I want to make sure this is as fair use can be. So let's get right into this.
I apologize to all of my regular fans. Like, truly and sorry. Seriously sorry that you guys have to keep going through this. We'll get...
Stick to TVs. Seriously, you are an AV channel. That means you mess with TV settings. Don't ask me why, because people like their TVs in different settings. I don't understand why people make an entire YouTube channel around that. But hey, to each their own. Oops, I thought I hit play.
Back to normal content. We'll start doing our comparisons and all that other stuff, but we do have to address this one final time, so disregard this video.
No. You don't have to address it. You're just gaslighting it. There's a difference.
If you're not interested, if you just want to hear what I have to say anyway, then stay through till the end. For everybody else, we're going to talk about the hypocrisy that you guys are putting out there. The first thing I take up...
That's rich coming from you, Quantum. That's really rich coming from you. The hypocrisy. Well, let's talk about the hypocrisy that you're putting out there. You call yourself the #1 brand in honesty. You're not the #1 brand in honesty, dude. The only reason why you went that direction is to stroke your own ego. Honestly. But hey, at least the comment section isn't disabled like the last two videos. Well, yeah. I reacted to 2 Quantum TV videos, and both of those comment sections were deleted. Not deleted, but deactivated. So, at least this one has managed to stay intact.
Major protest to and have a big problem with is this labeling me, saying that I've sent a text message to Actman's mother threatening her.
You did. You did. There is evidence to back that up. You may say it's only one phone call. That is your word. But, people cherry pick all the time. There could have been more than one phone call. For all we know.
I've never actually done that a single day in my life. And in fact, it kind of sounds like she's inciting him to do something.
She called you a nut. Basically saying, you're crazy. You somehow got her information, got the Actman's information, and then proceeded to call her. Don't you think that's weird?
dangerous or violent or commit some crime with, just don't do something that links back to you. I mean, go ahead and try it, but don't do anything he can link to you.
Okay, but that's like saying I didn't stab that person 47 times. And you forget about the knife that you used and the fact that, well, there's blood.
Good luck, hon, he's a nut kind of thing. Like, it doesn't really sound like she's trying to defuse the situation at all. Even
That's because she's not. She has nothing to do with this situation. You called her. You got in contact with her. Which is very... very, very, very scummy to do.
No, she called me back.
And I'm just gonna call it. I'm not gonna call the video, but I'm going to call this. He's going to deflect like he always does. Let's see.
She was so threatened, she called me back. And magically, Actman was so threatened on the 23rd of April. In that video where I show the timestamp, and literally, like, all of this is timestamped. You can hear the surveillance footage of what I said, and then you can...
Why do you have surveillance cameras around your house to begin with? It's not like, it's like this. If someone wants to rob you, they're going to rob you. Security cameras are not. Just saying. If somebody if somebody really wants to get at you, they're gonna get at you, no matter how many defenses you have up.
Also see the outgoing call on the 23rd, and then magically that day on the 23rd, the Actman says, "I'm moving on." It wasn't until my Power of an Apology video came out where I mentioned that I contacted his mother, where I guess he got embarrassed and...
No. He said that he was moving on because he didn't want to deal with you. That changed after he confirmed that you contacted his mother. You don't see a problem with what you did. If you don't see a problem with that, then I'm going to have to explain to you why there's a problem with that. Let's continue.
Upset by that he decided that he was going to make a death threat, failed,
Not a death threat, you moron.
As I'm just some concerned homeowner. Oh no, I...
Dude, how would you feel if somebody called your wife? It's no secret that you're married, so how would you like it if somebody just out of the blue called your wife and she answered, and that somebody basically wanted wanted to get in contact with you? I imagine you'd flip out. Because why would you flip out? Because that's your personal life. You cross that boundary between professional and personal. And that's something you just don't do.
If you come to my family, no. This was an unprovoked death threat.
Unprovoked. It was justified because you contacted his mother. Jesus, I feel like a broken record.
At Boar's Head, we stop at nothing to achieve the most authentic flavors. Our bold.
Skip this out.
And we can prove that because I have the surveillance footage that was running in my home at the time I made the call to your.
You have surveillance audio. You didn't give us any video. You could have got in contact with Ackman yourself, yet you decided to go to a third party, that third party being his mother. You say it's unprovoked. I say it's justified. You say it's a death threat. Why are you basically repeating what you said in the Ackman? Well, Ackman threatens to murder me, or something like that. You know what video I'm talking about. You're basically rehashing what you said in that video. Because again, you're trying to gaslight everything. You're trying to gaslight it. But here's the thing. Gas, the actual liquid, you put a match in gas and it's not going to light. You put a match to the fumes of the gas, though, and it'll light. Mother, and that she called me back. Those two things alone prove that you did a criminal crime. Your criminal crime. What criminal crime is that? What criminal activity are you talking about? Because... Wait, maybe he'll explain.
A criminal act. You're literally doing things to incite a mob to come after me because you don't.
No, you moron. I'm going to explain this to you very, very slowly so even a idiot like you can understand. This is not a mob. Actman just went on Twitter to voice his displeasure for what you did, and you cannot backpedal on it because you showed the phone calls. You also said it in a community post that you contacted Ackman's mother. So you can't double back on it.
Like that I found you off of, again, Yellow Pages, hello, and I did so just to
So you went to a phone book. You went to a phone book because the Yellow Pages are the Yellow Pages of a phone book. How on earth did you find Ackman's mother's name unless you already had that information on hand? Which would be doxing, which is against the law.
Contact you. Just the fact that I tried to contact you by, again, reaching out to next of kin, I guess upsets you. But in that respect, and anybody...
Why would you have to reach out to next of kin when you guys had a DM conversation? You guys actually traded DMs for quite a while. So you were already in contact with Actman, and when you decided that wasn't going your direction, you got in contact with his mother.
Who's ever reached out to anyone's next of kin to reach someone else, I guess they're just creepy for that.
No. You see, the only time I reach out to the next of kin is if I cannot get in contact with the person that I'm trying to get in contact with. However, the next of kin is the very last resort. For you, it was the very first resort, which is completely wrong, in my opinion.
It's ridiculous that this is the mindset, but we know what it is. If we look at the behavior of people like Mischief and Review Tech USA, who make apologies for racists and people who...
He's deflecting. He is deflecting as hard as he possibly can. Stick to TVs, you absolute idiot. Please stick to your arena of expertise, because right now you're just coming off as an absolute... I will save my judgment, because I'm only at 2 minutes 21 seconds. Maybe he'll actually say something smart. Maybe he'll prove me wrong. Let's find out.
Support child pornography and child predator behavior, then it's very...
All Rich said is that he was a fan of Vosh. He never said that he approved, that he condoned of what Vosh was saying. Never. There's a difference, which you don't seem to understand.
Obvious what's going on here. I mean, literally look at Mischief on February 22nd, where he makes a video talking about, Fertanga Plays and or whatever his name is, and the Axeman are trying to be canceled by PlayStation fanboys for racism. It's not that they're trying to be canceled by fanboys. It's that when you have a history of attacking people and insulting them and harassing them, and they look into you...
Oh God. This is getting good. You're just feeding me this material, which I do greatly appreciate. You have a history of calling out people that don't need to be called out. You have a history of hate speech. Don't you get this? Don't you get this by now? I really wish this drama would just stop, but Quantum TV just seems to not understand that the world doesn't revolve around him. It doesn't revolve around him. It doesn't revolve around TVs. It doesn't revolve around his wife. It doesn't revolve around anything he has to say, because quite frankly he is... Well, I'm just going to say this, and if anybody gets upset, they can get upset and they can yell at me in the comments. But, this guy's tricking himself. He thinks I can't even speak. He thinks he is hot stuff. But what he fails to realize is that he's just a man who has 65,800 subscribers in his community, which is really nothing to shake a stick at. But hey, you're not hot stuff. Nobody on YouTube's hot stuff, if you really want to think about it.
And they say, hey, what are you all about? And then stuff pops up on you because you're a YouTube celebrity. And one of those things is that you told people to slit their wrists. You're dropping the N-word on multiple occasions. You have...
Okay. You're deflecting to Actman and Review Tech USA. Who hasn't made mistakes? I've made a ton of them. I've made a ton of mistakes. I've made a ton of mistakes. 4 years ago, I made a mistake. Well, made multiple mistakes. Even before I was on YouTube, I made mistakes out the wazoo. But Quantum, you're acting like you're holier than thou, and that doesn't fly.
Very choice words against the gay community. You have very choice words against Jewish people and like all this.
You said that the gay community should be pulse victims. Because if anybody doesn't understand what that means, let me explain it. There was a nightclub called Pulse. It was a gay nightclub, and it got shot up. Where and like 47 people. 47 people died on account of that attack. So you have no right to talk about that, Quantum.
Other stuff like things that you and your community of friends have said collectively is just the.
You make it sound like Actman and Mischief and Review Tech USA had all of this planned from the very start. You still want to say this is all about a video game. This is far surpasses a video game at this point. Quite frankly, I don't even know why you're making this video. Unless you're not going to allow the drama on you to die. Which you need to. You need to go back to your little corner and you need to cry and pout and moan and groan about every little thing. People didn't like my Elden Ring reviews. I'm going to delete it. You've deleted a lot of videos. And why? Oh, because they were taken out of context. You called someone a half-breed. That is a slur. That is racial. How do you think people are going to feel when you tell them that they have no family, they have no friends, they have no life? How do you think they're going to feel? Nobody wants to hear that. Especially when they know it's not true.
Worst. And when you get caught saying these horrible things, you guys come out and you make these like disingenuous apology videos and you say like.
Now, a lot of the apology videos that I've watched were genuine. Now, every apology video I have made, I can tell you that some were genuine, some weren't. And I've learned from that. You need to learn from your mistakes, Quantum. Like, never make a video game review again.
Oh, but I apologize and I owned it. And
an apology is good. It's a step in the right direction, which you seriously need to do. You need to apologize, and I bet you're gonna bring up, I was hacked. No, you weren't.
Should be forgiven, and don't ever bring it up again. And it's that mindset. It's like, man, you guys really strike me as like those people who like went to college and were like the guys getting accused of like sexual assault, and then the moment
you also wait. You also said in one of the parts of your Elden Ring review that, oh, how'd it go again? I'm not talking about the suicide comments you made, because That was uncalled for. You also called the player base toxic. But there's one comment that it's on the tip of my... It's at the front of my brain, but I just can't put it into words right now. Hopefully, as we continue, we will... it'll come back.
Like, you apologize for it. You demanded everybody let it go because you were a kid with a bright future. Like, that's how you...
You demand that people don't use your content to make videos on you. And then when they do, you call it stolen. Gonna repeat that for a third time. Stolen content. Because in your mind, they used some third-party software to illegally download your video and re-upload it. Man, you're stupid.
You guys act, and it's in your history of your behavior. It's not just me coming up with a claim that's how this comes off, right? At least to me. Now, the thing that really gives it away is that Mischief runs to Review Tech USA saying things like...
No, Mischief was just warning people that his video was falsely... That's the key word. You falsely flagged his video, then wrote an entire paragraph telling him what he should do. Then he took down the video because he didn't want to deal with your sorry butt. And then you retracted your claim, and then he's like, "Okay, thank you. I'm going to put my video back online now because there's nothing you can do to stop it."
Oh, I guess Quantum found his new chew toy when I was sent all those things about you, Act-Man. And then...
everyone's been having the time of their lives over this drama. And you want to know why? It's because you're so... You'll believe anything. It's like if I told you that Gran Turismo, for example, was a good game, you'd believe it.
Kind of says that never mind the fact that he disavowed them 4 times. That's funny coming from you.
You didn't disavow anything. You didn't delete anything. You didn't disavow crap. In fact, you doubled down, you quadrupled down, you tripled down on the things that you say. And that's what you're doing here. You're speaking in circles at this point. You're like a dog chasing his tail, and the dog will never catch his tail because the tail always seems to be one step ahead. Everyone is one step ahead, and quite frankly, everyone's getting kind of tired of this drama anyway. Although I will say this: thank you for the free views. I genuinely mean that. Thank you.
Mischief, considering I've disavowed those hacked tweets on multiple occasions.
No, you didn't. No, you did not. You didn't disavow it. Disavow meaning making them useless. It's like this. I got hacked a long time ago. My Facebook got hacked. And And after I got back into my account, I posted intruder alert, intruder alert. If you got a message from me or you see a post about me, it's not me. That's how I disavowed. That's how I let everyone know I was hacked. You didn't let anyone know you were hacked because you weren't hacked. But yet you're still going with the narrative that you were hacked, and that narrative's not going to last.
And it's funny that you guys say that we've proved that it wasn't a hack. The reality of living with moderate to severe ulcerative colitis or Crohn's disease, as if you have surveillance.
That's because they have proved that they've proven to you they have proven to their audience that you weren't hacked because that Twitter account was you put it on you linked it to your YouTube account and everyone could see your tweets. Okay. Continue. This is so. This is like, gee, peanut butter and jelly are good separate, but they're better together. Instead of that, we get this wasn't any of my fault. This was all your guys' fault, which is complete nonsense. You definitely are the sage of stupidity.
Video placing me in some public library, typing out those tweets with like timestamps and logs of like every keystroke I made on that day, and at the same breath and token, like you guys want to sit there and act like there's a photograph of me sending something like that,
and you want to act like you're better than everyone else.
And like gloating about it or something. There's nothing like that. And I find it very funny, and I think most people with a brain would find it very odd and suspicious that I tell you I got hacked in 2018, and then all...
You have no idea how intellectual property works. You have no idea how fair use works, even though you say you do know how fair use works. And you try to explain it, but every time you try to explain it, you come off looking more... Let me try that again. You come off looking like a bigger idiot than you already are. Because even you know you have no idea what you're talking about.
All the tweets that you pull up are from 2018, and then all of the negative posts you pull up are from 2018, when I told you I got hacked. It's very convenient how that works, right? Very convenient.
No, it's not convenient because you weren't hacked in 2018.
All this stuff falls in line with what I told you, but again, when you disavow something, it means something. When I disavow something, it's a lie.
That's because you haven't disavowed crap. You haven't done anything. You act like you haven't done anything wrong, but yet you have done... You've done multiple things wrong. You've handled this situation completely backwards. And yet you're... I mean, it's kind of like William Taft. William Taft was the United States president who said that he was going to follow in Roosevelt's footsteps. But you see him... This reminds me of a PowerPoint that I saw in high school, where Taft goes, "I'm following this man, and yet the footsteps are going one way, and he's going the exact opposite."
It's hypocrite. It's a hypocrisy.
You're a hypocrite. You have spoken so much hypocrisy, it's unreal.
Like, you want to say what you think, but not listen to what others say.
People have literally roasted you, and you don't, and you don't even listen to what they have to say. All you care about is your quote-unquote stolen content, which no one stole.
And I think that's the danger here, because now you guys are kind of running with, like, he's a bigot, he's a homophobe, he's a transphobe.
That's because you are, and there's plenty of evidence to prove that.
You're just trying to weaponize the gay community against me.
What possible motive would people have to do that? I honestly just think that you are a complete waste of time. But here I am making a YouTube video on your video just to see what other stupid things come out of your big mouth.
Because if we look at your history, you've said a lot of really, really anti-gay stuff, man. Like,
so
really bad, right?
Again, so
and I mean, it gets to the point where it's just like, when you have Mischief apologizing for that, when you have Review Tech USA apologizing for that, saying, yeah, they were terrible, but, you know, they owned up to it and they didn't try to use...
That's because they apologized for what they did. Again, you haven't apologized for what you did. You haven't even... Here's the thing. I watched about halfway through Griffin Gaming's video where Griffin Gaming roasted you, Quantum, on your bad Xbox Series X take. Then there was a corresponding of emails back and forth where it seemed like that you and him had come to an agreement, and then you came back the next day and said that his followers were, well, that his people were making you look bad. I don't hate you, Quantum. I don't even know you. I just don't like the stuff that you do, especially at this moment in time. You could have just let all this go, but instead you decide that you want to keep it going for as long as you can. And why? Why? For free views? You're not really growing out of this, so that can't be it. Maybe you just want attention.
What about isms to try to, like, dismiss it or deflect? I'm not deflecting. I straight up didn't do the shit, so I'm not going to own some...
You're not deflecting. You're not deflecting. You 100% are deflecting.
Something I didn't do.
You did do those things.
When I make a mistake, I own it outright and I say, you know what? Damn, I was wrong. But this isn't one of those examples, and...
It is. You just refuse to admit it.
No matter how much you cry for spilled milk, I'm not gonna fucking put it in a bottle.
I'm not crying over spilled milk. Review Tech USA isn't crying over spilled milk. Griffin Gaming isn't crying over spilled milk. Mischief isn't crying over spilled milk, who, by the way, has over 100,000 members in his community. So that means he has surpassed you. Sorry about that. Nobody's crying over spilled milk except for you. And And it's either one of three things. One, you don't realize you're crying over spilled milk. Two, you realize it and you don't care. Or three, you really like crying over spilled milk. You like trying to drag people down to your depths of sadness and despair.
When breastfeed it to you, okay? Or whatever, or feed it through the bottle to you. Like, I'm sorry, but that's just not how the world works, okay? The world doesn't revolve around your talking points, as you would so generously like to.
And it doesn't revolve around your talking points. The world doesn't revolve around me. The world doesn't revolve around you. It doesn't revolve around anybody, really.
Thing. And this concept now that, like, even Asm Gold jumps up and, like, tells a lie, like quantum text, Ackman.
The text... Good Lord. I watched Asmongold's video. What did he say in his video that was a lie? I don't think you watch the people's videos that you're accusing. I think you allow the YouTube algorithm, which is a machine and is very typical for a machine to make a mistake, that you let the YouTube algorithm decide who you flag, who you try to take down, and when that doesn't work, you threaten them with litigation, which is stupid on your part.
Mother, and he threatened violence against her and all this shit, and then even follows it up where if somebody did that to my mother, I'd want to shoot them too. Like, you guys are...
Yeah. Like, I don't blame Asmongold for saying that, because it was the dude's mother that you contacted. Not Asmongold's mother, the Actman's mother. Now, let's say that somebody contacts your wife, right? Let's go with your wife. You've said it publicly. You're married. So, let's say somebody contacts your wife. She doesn't know the person, but she answers the phone anyway. So, how do you think you would react if somebody contacted your wife out of the blue, out of nowhere? You would probably be like, if I see so-and-so, you're going to be dead. Or something like that. I could almost see any man saying that. Or, sad to say, acting upon it.
Really making this a nasty situation for no reason. I never threatened anyone, and you both know that. And...
Actman, how does Actman know that you didn't threaten anyone? You got his mother's information, dude, and you contacted her to tell her what her son was doing to you. You're a grown man complaining to another grown man's mother. That's messed up.
And the surveillance footage shows that.
No surveillance footage. Not a single shred of video, just audio. So, it's just audio from the surveillance camera that for whatever reason you have around your home, you must be very paranoid.
Clearly, and if you think it's fake surveillance footage because I blacked it out to conceal what was going on in the background in my own household where my family members were moving around freely, well,
No one cares. All they care about is you contacted somebody's mother, which is wrong. Completely. No matter how much you want to try to spin the narrative.
you can look at the timestamp dated for April 23rd and then the outgoing call log that I provided, and then the 23rd where Actman.
How do we know that wasn't the first phone call, though? You could have. I mean, like I said, people cherry pick all the time.
Magically says he's moving on, and then after the apology video that I put up, the power of an apology video, magically wants to get triggered, and then all these threats.
Which you didn't apologize. Here's the thing. The power of an apology. You didn't apologize one time in that video. Instead, you ranted and you raved about the people that you said were trying to quote-unquote cancel you, which this isn't cancel culture. This is just people, like I said before, this is just people making you accountable for what you've done, your actions. Believe me when I say what I'm about to say. 4 years ago, I wasn't accountable for what I did to my best friend. I made a lot of excuses. I made a lot of excuses. I even gave him all those excuses, and because he had known me for over a decade, he knows how I was. Well, he knows how I am. So he told me that it was a load of garbage, which I didn't heed to. So go into 2020. 2020, we're talking a little bit. 2020, I forget when he blocked me on Facebook. I think it was 2021. And I have no one to blame but myself. You have no one to blame but yourself for this. You need to let this go, because you could find yourself in the hospital from stressing out too much. So do yourself a favor, Quantum, and let this go. Seriously.
Magically happened after I called his mother. Like, you guys really need to look at things full picture and stop playing games here, because this is a witch hunt, and it's happening because you guys.
No, it's not. No, it's not. Why is this a witch hunt? Seriously. Why is this a witch hunt? The Salem witch trials was a witch hunt. This is not a witch hunt. Everyone is mad beyond belief at you for what you did. And you just don't realize that. You seriously don't. And I find that very disturbing. That you don't even realize what you've done.
Guys wanted to steal my content and harass me and damage the original videos. Because when I made those...
All people did was take clips of said videos and then comment over them. That's not stealing. That is something called fair use. Learn it. And then we can talk.
Elden Ring videos, you guys wanted to do your so-called takes on my video, which turned into harassment.
Which, by the way, why did you take down your Elden Ring videos? Why? It makes no sense. Unless you just got tired of the video itself. Unless you got tired of people making videos about your bad hot take and then decide, I've had enough of this, so part 1, part 2, part 3, you're gone.
Harassment, which turned into people coming from your channel to ratio out my content, which destroys its ability to profit on the market, which in turn makes
So this is all about money?
it no longer fair use, which is the sole reason I fucking ever filed a copyright infringement claim.
Wait. Let's go back 10, 20, 30.
You guys really need to look at things full picture and stop playing games here, because this is a witch hunt, and it's happening because you guys wanted to steal my content and harass me and damage the original
No one stole your content, first off.
videos. Because when I made those Elden Ring videos, you guys wanted to do your so-called takes on my video, which turned into
Which they did, and you didn't like, so you DMCA'd them. Which is in direct violation of the copyright. Well, correction. Which is in direct violation of what YouTube states, because every single time you strike them with a DMCA, there are 3 checkboxes. Perjury. There's a checkbox for perjury. The first one's about perjury. The third one is about termination. I forget what the middle one's about.
into harassment, which turned into people coming from your channel to ratio out my content, which destroys its
No one came from anybody else's channel to ratio out your content.
ability to profit on the market.
That doesn't... This guy is so stupid. This guy is so stupid. Just because your video has been ratioed into oblivion doesn't mean it stops becoming profitable. The video is still monetized at the end of the day, which means as long as your video is monetized, you still get the ad revenue. So what are you complaining about?
Which in turn makes it no longer fair use, which is the sole reason I fucking
Yes, it does.
ever filed a copyright infringement claim against you. You use a certain percentage of it and you cause damages, and you use all the...
Okay, so let's say that. Let's look at it like this. I'm pausing about every minute or so. Does that mean that I'm technically using 100% of your video?
the stuff containing my imagery, and then you act like it's not a big deal. Like,
That's because it's not. You can use somebody's imagery without them knowing, because fair use. Fair use, my guy. I've seen it happen in hot take videos before. Where when someone wants to comment over a certain part of, let's say, your Elden Ring hot take, because, well, it was very, very bad. They take clips, short spurts of clips, play them, then comment over them. What's wrong with that?
No harm can be done from destroying someone's reputation. But
no one's destroyed your reputation. You destroyed your reputation a long time ago.
If it happened to you, I guarantee you'd be whining, pissing, bitching.
No. If it happened to me, I'd be like, okay, you've had your fun. I want to be doing what you're doing.
Moni, you're the first people to claim you don't like abusers. You don't like, bullies.
Oh, that's what. Thank you. That's the point. That's the point that ran away from me earlier. You said that all you complainers sound like what was it? Abuse victims. You sound like a sad, pathetic man who is whining and crying and moaning and groaning on account of no reason. Because everyone has a right to their opinion. Everyone has a right to take your content, chop it up, put it in their video, and comment over it. Now, that's fair use. What wouldn't be fair use is downloading it, then re-uploading it. That would be theft. But neither Mischief, nor Griffin Gaming, nor Review Tech USA, no one ever did that.
And you sit there and you literally indulge in the same behavior you say that you're not for. Time and time again with these false lies that I'm unhinged.
So do you, and you are unhinged.
I'm dangerous on the platform.
You are.
I've been reviewing TVs long before you guys have ever.
You've been reviewing TVs for 5 years. That's how long Quantum TV has been on YouTube. I looked at... all you have to do is go to the About section. Sorry about that. All you have to do is go to the About section of a person's YouTube channel and look up, and there is a date in the About section. So I've been on YouTube for 6 years. 1 year behind. Quantum TV has only been on the platform for 5 years. And yes, while I have made a lot of mistakes, I generally and genuinely say I was wrong with the mistakes that I made.
Ever started talking about me. The way you guys flock to controversy, you would think that you would have run into my name a couple of different fucking times if I actually was unhinged and dangerous. But the fact is, that's not a fucking thing.
Dude, you contacted the Act Man's mother. That's not only stupid, that is crazy. You're crazy for doing that. And I would also say you're a little unhinged for doing that. Because it wasn't needed in this situation.
You're just running with that because you think it sounds good to your community, not realizing that like all you're doing is just making this a really bad situation because you don't like me. You want me off the platform and you think that's the best way of getting the job done. But let me just kind of put this out there. All you guys have to understand, when you claim that somebody said something or you report something to YouTube, YouTube is an unbiased party. They're going to look at all the evidence and all the facts about this creator on the platform. And when they...
But when YouTube gets a DMCA, they have to act upon it.
Conclude, as they have, that I have not done a single fucking thing but make TV videos, and I'm not actually some unhinged...
You have abused the copyright system, and you're lucky to still be on YouTube.
Dangerous person that needs to be deplatformed. Then you're going to sit there and run with what Actman is doing right now, what Asm Gold is doing right now. Well, if we can't get him terminated because he's clean, well, then we can try to make him dirty by saying that he committed a crime, and we'll just come up with some lie that he texted your mother. Like...
You showed the phone calls. Dude, your double backing has got to stop. Your deflecting has got to stop. Because if it doesn't, you're gonna be without a channel. And that's as nice as I can put it.
This level of hatred is insane, and it's so outlandish.
You deserve it.
All you had to do, Actman, was call me back. I gave you my number through your mother.
That was the sole purpose for my calling, right?
The whole purpose of me reaching out to your next of kin.
Exactly. However, it feels weird because typically people would only reach out to the next of kin when the person is, well, typically it happens with a death. So let's say can't think of a good example. But Actman wasn't dead.
Like, if you really honestly wanted to talk, you could have. And you didn't. I don't have any interest in having a Discord.
He did. You guys had a conversation where you told him to speak like a dog.
Or conversation or talking on voice chat. I want to talk where you're not recording it, and where if you record it, you're violating two-party consent laws. That's...
How on earth do you know if he's recording a conversation or not? You can't tell it.
I didn't join the call, by the way. I want to make sure that there's no audience. I want to make sure that there's nothing. There's just two people talking to resolve their differences. And you didn't want to do that because, case in point, you shared...
Yet Griffin Gaming thought you and him got... this gets even deeper. I'm really scraping the bottom of the barrel. I'm actually cracking through the barrel and going and making a hole. So, are you saying that when you and Griffin Gaming had your little conversation a year ago, that you wanted to make sure that you weren't being recorded or anything like that? Because it was email correspondence. So he would send an email, you'd send an email. He would send an email, you would send an email. It doesn't make any sense. You could have joined the call, but you didn't. So that means That makes you seem guilty.
All the private messages that we had, the same way Griffin Gaming shared every email that I had. And even, it's funny because every time
Which both had a right to do.
you guys make damaging
It's not against the law.
content, I do try to reach out to you and tell you, you guys have caused harm with this kind of nonsense. And I love that you guys are like, oh, Quantum makes death threats, it's okay when he does it. I didn't make a death threat. I literally...
Yes, you did. You said that you said on your Twitter that speaking about the gay community, you guys should have been post victims. That's not a death threat to you?
Quoted what Florida law says. It's a stand your ground state. And when people are saying that they're going to show up to my house with guns, they're going to bash my head in, they're going to do all kinds of unspeakable things to my wife and my girls, like, if you're going to go with that narrative, I'm just going to say that, listen, it's literally a stand your ground state. Like, if you show up doing any of that stuff, well, at the end of the day, I will have to stand my ground against that. Like, that's not a death threat to any specific person at all. Like, that's literally just saying, like,
Ad City.
Listen to Chill Hop with your screen locked and study uninterrupted. Try our student plan.
when you fall in love with a Benjamin Moore color, don't try to match it with another brand's paint. I will defend myself if you guys want to bring these violent threats and act on the death threats, which...
That's only if people have intention of acting upon them. Now, if anyone is sending you death threats, Quantum, I strongly advise to people that are doing that to stop, because that's not how I want my community to conduct themselves. That's not how I want the Actman's community or Review Tech USA's community or Mischief's community or Griffin Gaming's community to. But you have to understand something. You as a human being, knows what is right and what is wrong. And I'm only at the 10:30 mark. I'm gonna have to let this play out some more, so let's see what he has to say.
Again, came from Griffin Gaming's Xbox video where he literally called me out and tried to do all this shit. And of course, magically, the guy lumped in with...
You're playing the victim again.
These racists, magically, the racist apologists has fans that like that kind of behavior. And like, you guys have no idea. I'm literally getting like emails of like black people hanging from trees from the 1950s with like all kinds of N-bombs being dropped.
So you're saying that you're getting threats from the Ku Klux Klan? What?
Right after the Actman's video and Asm Gold's video, like, this is the community that like wants to play like they have a moral high ground. Like, I guarantee you, if Justine made a video about this, I wouldn't be getting like the N-bomb and like people hanging from trees and like all this stuff, like, because that's not her base. She has a channel that's about tech and usually good vibes. But you guys are about controversy and hatred, and that's the kind...
No. Review Tech USA is about tech and about news. Actman, from what I have seen, is basically all about gaming. Griffin Gaming, it's in the name, he's all about gaming. Mischief I don't really know. But no one. Sorry guys, I'm tired.
The people you pull in, and you want to act like nobody can potentially be harmed by your actions, and you want to try to pretend like when I said I'm genuinely worried for your targets, like the people you target and harass, I'm worried about their safety.
Nobody's gonna die over you over this drama. Nobody's going to die over this drama. No one. Because really no one really cares anymore about this drama. The only person that cares about this drama is you.
Do you want to act like, oh my God, this guy plays victim, doesn't he? No, you guys victimize people with your behavior.
You do play the victim. You play the victim so much that it's not disturbing. It's just, oh, he's going to play the victim or he's going to deflect, which you're doing both at the same time.
You target them, you look at them as like literally a digital scoreboard in a game, and like you have fun, you go to town with them. Even as far, you took it as far as saying that your mother was threatened when somebody reached out to next of kin, because how dare they find you in the real world? That's creepy.
That's because you said we don't want families to get hurt or anybody to get hurt over this. Those were your words. I may have not got them exactly correct, but it is what it is.
No, it's not, dude. It's public record. If you're, don't even trust me on this. If you think that you are so private as a person, type in your name and actually do a research or try to do any basic research on your name. I promise you, if you look into the Act Man right now, you will find his full legal name. You will find, just type Act Man. Look for Act Man's real name. Like, actually try to find people, you will find it. It's not hard. And the thing is, like, you guys want to act like reaching out for non-malicious purposes is like literally some vigilanteism or like some call to action to do something really damaging or destructive, and it's not. I'm just literally trying to say, hey, let's resolve our differences off camera, because clearly on camera isn't working, right? You guys are sending a mob after me and it's only getting worse, right? And then like when I try to be normal and like say, yo, let's just talk, let's not be like weird about it, you gotta go weird about it. Like it's the strangest thing to me. And the fact that like in that text that I did see, Ackman's mother's like, well, just make sure he can't link anything back to you. Go ahead and try. But like what the hell is that? Like, what are you planning? What are you guys trying?
He doesn't get it. He doesn't. There is no hope for this man.
And to do, I mean, like,
Sure, some people don't like velvety, smooth Kraft mayo. That's okay.
Was this your move? Like to try to like slander me and like lie and to say like I did all this stuff? Like, was that what she was telling you to do? Like, because that's really bad parental advice if that's what she told you to do, but whatever. And I think at the end of the day, all of this like trying to cancel me over tweets that are from the timeline I told you I was hacked, that I've disavowed like a bunch of.
You didn't disavow him. Quit saying you disavowed him when you didn't.
Times, and like me, like you always coming up with like constant like
You're trying to cover your tracks and it's not working very good.
To answer to this or else we're going to continue to say this about you and label you. Like, it all started because you guys wanted to take content that didn't belong to you in the first place.
It's something called fair use, buddy. It's something called fair use, which you have no idea what fair use is. No idea whatsoever.
And then the moment you started causing damages and somebody wanted to copyright claim you to try to get you to take down those videos to stop you from.
You didn't have. Oh, I'm going to try to explain this. You didn't have grounds for a copyright strike.
damaging the original video, you wanted to jump up and down and be like, that's not fair use. As you literally damage the original video's ability to be able to profit or do anything.
You do realize people do have the right, under fair use, to take the owner's video and give their take on it. That's fair use. Fair use is a gray area, but fair use is fair use, and that is why your takedown request was rejected by YouTube, because even YouTube knew that the Actman's video fell under fair use.
Through the amount of ratioing and all that stuff, which I can prove, right? Now, again, I don't really $10,000 care about this, and that's what it would take, in case you wanted to know, to file a lawsuit and go through the motion with every single person, like $10,000 a pop. Like, straight up, I'd rather spend that money.
Why don't you just issue a class action lawsuit against the people? That'd be way easier. May cost a lot more, but that'd be easier.
On TVs for my community, reviewing content, having fun.
By the way, why don't you just go back to reviewing TVs? But it seems like instead of ignoring this drama or going back to regular scheduled content like you say is coming, why don't you just do it already? Let this drama go.
Here, or like hanging out with my family, going on trips, doing fun things, putting things away in the life savings. I mean, we've got inflation and a war happening, and you guys are out here like acting like somebody's going to invest that much into you and your ridiculous nonsense. It's like, yeah, is it unfortunate that you damaged my original videos? Yeah, absolutely. You're still doing it. You're still ratioing everything out, typing L plus ratio plus maidenless. Like, I know what you guys are doing, and you know what you're doing. All of you do. It's a wrap.
Not really. Harassment is aggressive pressure, basically intimidation. Everyone just thinks this is funny. It was funny up until you contacted the Actman's mom, and it didn't become funny anymore.
Harassment for no fucking reason, based off of what you think. Because now, I'll be very clear, was I harsh towards Elden Ring players? Absolutely, and I know that pissed them off. But then, were Elden Ring players harsh to me? Nobody asked that question. What made a guy that talks about TVs angry enough to make a bad review about Elden Ring?
A bad review that you only spent, I'm going to guess, 15 minutes with the game, and then you decided this game sucks. You didn't give enough time. In my opinion, you did not give enough time to Elden Ring to make a proper review on it.
Well, simply put, I reached out for help to the Elden Ring community. I tried to talk to you guys. I asked, is there an easier mode? And all I kept getting was, get good, you filthy, disgusting, casual. You're disgusting, you're worthless, learn how to play the game. It doesn't need an easy mode. And all this harassment. And then I started looking.
From Software games don't have an easy mode.
And how you treated other people that responded to this game, and it was more of the same thing. And as I started looking around, the landscape turned into anyone who says anything negative about Elden Ring is vilified, maliciously and relentlessly. And it just kept happening. And then, as I'm looking at, the game as a product, with the weakest, most disgusting frame rates out there, graphics that are not next gen, which is why I said they are dog shit. You can look at the art style and think...
But all the graphics that I've seen of Elden Ring are absolutely drop-dead gorgeous. The only thing you got right were frame rate issues.
You like it and call it an art style, But Bud, don't kid yourself. That is not a next-gen look. The PS4 Pro or Xbox One X could have pulled that off easily. And the reality is, when you talk about that, that pisses off these gamers that identify with the product and they love it. And listen, if you love it, great. But
My name is Dr. King Schultz.
I'm Father Bob Schremer. 45 years of ministry in Kansas has taught me to be grateful. So thank you.
when I said that you guys are people who have no friends, no lives, no family, you guys.
Yeah, which I imagine made a lot of people upset. Also at the fact that you told them to go off themselves was like the point of no return for you.
Are basically shut-in losers for the most part. You kind of proved my point by like sitting there, 12,000 people on every video I upload, downloading and ripping it down and attacking and forming like little mobs and little communities and sub-communities to just talk about me. Like, you kind of proved my point. This is not healthy behavior. See, typically when people buy products, they're happy.
I'm just gonna tell you this now. The reason why I'm reacting to this video is to make everything you say worthless. Because I haven't heard a single solitary thing that you have said so far that is genuine.
With, they play it, they enjoy it, they watch it, they use it. They don't sit there and form hate groups around their products to attack anyone who doesn't like their product. I've run into this 3 times in my life now. 1 with the LG OLED community, 2 with the Xbox community, and now with the Elden Ring community. Out of all the products I have
the Xbox, well, you made a very bad informed take on the Xbox Series X. That's it.
Reviewed, this is the only time I've actually run into a legitimate hate community. Yes, PlayStation fanboys are totally toxic too, but I've never run into the same level of like just disdain and hatred like I have here. So that says something about you guys. Now, again, I own both consoles. I'm not stirring up a console war or blaming Xbox fans for anything, but the fanaticism is what I'm talking about. My point being is like, I mean, you can look at every angle you want to try to paint.
I play an Xbox One. I'm not fanatic about a game. Whoops. Boy.
As a bad guy, but I really am just a TV reviewer, that is a professional that talks about.
Then stick to reviewing televisions. Don't stick to something you have no idea about.
Professional things, measurements, things like that. And it's like, you don't have to like me, but damaging reputation is not fair use. And I think that's something that none of you want to mention in your videos.
It is fair use.
As you want to make me seem like some unhinged, crazy person that shouldn't be doing any kind of contacting of anyone's mother. Deal with it. And then, you have people like Review Tech USA that wants to pretend like I wasn't hacked. Like, oh yeah, nobody's going to impersonate you. As literally he has a moderator named Quantum TV and knows that's a fake account. So he knows the behavior is there. He's just playing stupid for the sake of the audience, for the sake of the controversy.
No.
I get it, but it's disingenuous. And again, it's so funny, like, even the little mischief character out there who's sitting here and defending all his friends knows in the same breath that there are impersonation accounts. Actman and Mischief had a live stream where they were on together and literally saw multiple fake accounts. I showed that. And it's funny that, like, in the same breath, they want to be like, when somebody asks, why would anybody impersonate Quantum? And then Mischief responds with, well, because it's fucking funny. You guys think that this kind of harassment is a game and it's funny. And that proves right there that your character hasn't changed from Bully. It hasn't.
Your character hasn't changed from a year from a year ago. You're still the same old Quantum TV that you were. This is the same thing Griffin Gaming had to go through with you. So you're basically, there's an old saying, isn't that the pot calling the kettle black? You, sir, are the pot calling the kettle black at this point.
Change from harassment. It hasn't changed from the things that people have said about you in the past, right? Because you're packed predators. Oh no, it's Alex, Fertanga Plays, Griffin Gaming, Review Tech USA, Mischief, Asm Gold, Charlie from Penguins, whatever the hell. All of you are just running together in a circle to try to damage and defame and to cancel and to be as harassing towards me as you can be. And none of this...
That's not what anyone is doing.
Will enrich your life in any way meaningful outside of course, the money that you're getting from the controversy that you created. My message is very simply this. I didn't threaten anyone, and I really, frankly, don't have any interest in threats. I don't do that kind of thing. I'm a TV reviewer. I talked about games.
I don't threaten people.
When you gain access to these plantations,
I branch out into movie reviews and games, and if you like my take, great. If you don't, that's fine too. If you want to render up a genuine criticism, I'm cool with that. Like, for example, if you watch me talk about a movie I review, like Star Wars or Batman or the new movies that come out, like Far From Home, which I plan on maybe reviewing, and you guys will probably look at and be like, oh boy, I hate this take. You can talk about the take, just don't damage the original video if you're going to use my footage and claim fair use. That's what I mean.
But that is fair use. You say it's not fair use if they damage the original video, but it is fair use. That's what you don't understand.
And when you start inciting behavior like that, come on now. You guys want to act like you have followings, and because you have followings, everything is fair game, and nothing anyone can do can be tied back to you, and that's not how this works, man. You guys are responsible for what you say, and again, because people love you, they're going to do things in your honor. And when you literally make posts like, hey, Act Bros Unite for Act Mother's honor or whatever the hell, you're not just talking to your brother, as you claim.
He definitely was talking to his brother.
People have claimed, okay? You're literally talking to your entire fan base when you make a public statement like that, because if that's your brother that you're talking to, bro, your brother likely lives with you, or you have direct contact and you can call him and talk to him. There was no need to make a public call to action for the honor of your mother, unless you were trying to get other people to unite for the honor of your mother. It's common sense that you guys kind of lack here in this situation, and I understand you're angry. You feel
you're attacking people. You're deflecting. You're blaming other people. You can't take blame for anything. And now you're on the offensive. You have become very predictable.
I'm genuinely a copyright abuser, but I'm still on the platform because YouTube has told you no to your cancel culture.
Watch yoga videos ad-free and practice uninterrupted. Try our student plan.
Let that sink in. YouTube told you no. YouTube.
Let this sink in. YouTube told you no to your takedown request, and then you told the support agent that you were talking to that YouTube's advice failed me, and now I'm being labeled as a copyright abuser. So you were throwing YouTube under the bus when there was no need for it. All YouTube did was deny your takedown request.
showed you this guy isn't copyright abusing. He hasn't done anything. There's nothing against this channel. He actually isn't violating any of our terms of service. They've told you this time and time again. People who reported me and keep reporting me, that's not going to go anywhere. I have to do something that violates the terms of service, and I'm not doing that. And again, like I said in this video, calling Zoe Kravitz a half-breed as she's half black and half white, using that scientific genetic makeup to make the parallel or the comparison.
You still used a slur.
Comparison for educational purposes about the fact that she's literally like both black and white, attacking white people for white privilege. That's not hate speech, dude. That's literally me defending people against racism. When you want to try to say that, like when I'm in Elden Ring talking about the Death Luke, and then you try to take things out of context to try to claim I said go kill yourself, that's not.
You said go kill yourself. You didn't say go kill yourself in the game. Quit. Please. Please. You said at the end of the day, go kill yourself, man. You didn't mention anything about Elden Ring in that statement that you made. It was very clear what you meant.
Not gonna work because it's not what I said. And again, you know that that's not what I said. You do. But in the same breath, also you know that like when people find what you said and how you tell people to slit their wrists and you use the N-word on multiple occasions, all you guys want to do is like say that doesn't represent their modern beliefs. 5 years is, yeah, that's I mean, come on. That's like fucking 50 years ago, man. Why are we still talking about 5-year-old tweets? We're not even talking about like a decade-old tweet. We're talking about 5 years. That is a short period of time. Like, that is not long at all. Like, 5 years, you sneeze and 5 years can fly by, man. You really can. Like, what is that? High school and the year after? Like, that's nothing, dude. Like, that's literally nothing. And I think that this concept that you particular creators have, like me, my fans, my friends, we can come up with any kind of talking point and attack whoever we want, and we can like say all the nasty stuff we want, and when one of us gets caught, we'll just run damage control within in our inner circle.
That's because you do. That's because you do. You're running damage control right now. That's what this is about.
About it, and then like anyone who brings up those old tweets, oh, don't do that. But then we'll continue to try to do that for other people and try cancel culture around that and pretend like they said every single word, as all the information that we show you will come out of 2018. Like every tweet that you've seen posted on their channel talking about I said anything was from the time period I told you I was hacked and proved I was hacked, and literally proved back then that I installed moderators to help with that. Like, it's a joke at this point, and maybe only you guys are laughing and you don't really realize that. Like, you guys genuinely believe like the entire internet is out against me when it's really not, which is why I still have 65,000 subscribers. I'm not losing subscribers over this because they know what I do. They know.
You're not gaining any either. What are you looking to gain from all of this?
I'm not like that. And the more you lie, the more you reveal your hand, because it's hard to remember a lie. And I don't think you understand, like, when somebody knows.
You do realize that when you falsely DMCA someone, you're lying.
The truth, they're going to speak it regardless. And that's what I do here. And again, I'm not sitting here playing victim, man. I'm just calling you out, and you
Yes, you are.
want to act like that's a victim mentality. But it's weird that you would jump to thinking that that's a victim, because deep down you know that you actually are victimizing people that you target. And you want to pretend like, oh, play the victim, because you're so used to people understanding that when you target somebody with fake claims and death threats, that you actually did make them the victim.
You falsely flagged Mischief's video. You called Review Tech USA, Rich from Review Tech USA, a pedophile. Now, both of them were false. And I'm going to make this statement. I think whenever you call somebody a pedophile, you better back it up. And you had no proof to back it up. Since that is the case, well, I'm not even gonna go any further with that thought. Let's continue.
Of a targeted crime. When you send people that start commenting the N-word on their email and sending black people hanging from trees, that is the victim of a hate crime in some aspect, and you have to own that. And when that's coming after you made your video, like if I made a video about you, and then as a result, you're seeing a bunch of like, people, like white people be murdered, like that's the...
If I actually receive something like that in my email, I just delete it. Like, seriously.
And people threatening to bash your head in, people threatening to shoot you, people threatening to find you, people threatening to kill your kids, kill your wife, kill your family, all this stuff. Like, if you had that happen to you, then obviously I need to be held accountable, because that's not a normal video. That is an inciting of a mob, and that's what you creators do. You guys genuinely make YouTube an unsafe place, and I'm well within my rights to be able to say this out loud, okay? I genuinely feel threatened by your existence. I genuinely feel like anyone you target...
People feel threatened by your existence because you're... Again, it's a two-way street here. You feel threatened by other people's existence. You say that they make the platform unsafe. But there are people that feel the same way about you.
It is actually threatened by your existence, because you've proven that you will band together across multiple YouTube channels to lie, literally, as Azam Gold has, as all the people saying that I've threatened a mother that was never threatened has, okay, for the sole purpose of you just don't like somebody and their actions to try to defend against you.
That's exactly why people don't like you, is the way you went about things.
That's all this is. And the reality is, you say whatever you want, and I get that, but understand this. If you really felt like I committed a
Hey, he understands the First Amendment.
crime, you need to report it to the authorities, because I'm not joking when I say this. I'm actively working with a detective right now on this very incident. So as you guys start continuously
Why? Actman's working on a court case against you. So a detective is more than likely not going to help you out here.
death threats, and like you guys start doing it all in the honor of the Act Man, that does not help.
You speak as to act. Well, you speak like Actman is a god of some sort.
Okay, and I can confidently say this now because I've already sent it to the detective. They already have all the information they could possibly need on this situation to know what's going on.
Your side or his side? Because if it's just your side, then it's one-sided. A detective needs both sides of the story to put it all together.
You guys have committed crimes, man. And you guys are continuing to commit crimes. You know, telling a black person, like, you're going to hang them from a tree, you're going to find them, and you're like, all this stuff, like, that's not cool, bro. Like, this is racially motivated now, and you guys want to act like it's a race card.
No, it's not. It was never racially motivated. More ads. Yay.
Yasso Poppables, a ridiculously creamy, chocolatey, snackable ice cream experience.
I can literally post all this stuff on my Discord. so that it doesn't get yanked off of YouTube to prove it. But I mean, really, at this point, I think we need to call this what this is. You guys need to stop. Like, de-escalate the situation. Take ownership.
You're the one gaslighting it. You're the one keeping this going. So you need to stop. Seriously, you need to stop.
Come out and tell your fans, yeah, we lied against the guy. He didn't actually threaten the mother on text. Because short of doing that, you really don't have a respectable action at this point to take responsibility for the harm that you've caused. And that was the whole reason I even called your mother, man. And look at you. You did exactly what I kept saying that you did. The whole reason I called you. You're causing damage. You cause people to, froth at the mouth and to want to, hate people. And now it's literally based off of race. And it's funny because you...
No, it's not. No, it's not. Don't play the race card when it has nothing to do with race.
Guys want to sit here and act like I told people to go kill themselves and I want a certain group of people dead, then I'll say it again for the millionth time. I completely disavow everything that was said back in 2018.
No, you didn't. You didn't disavow anything.
And all of the fake posts that you guys will find that pop up randomly after this video. I don't say those kinds of things because that's not who I am. I literally am one of those people that genuinely live my own life. I'm a very private person as much as I can be, and I just spend my time with my family. I don't have the time, energy, or patience to spend hating other people and other people's families. What you guys do with your families doesn't involve me. And likewise, I'm not here to give my information out or your information out, which is why the X-Man's mother has actually never been doxed on any social media platform video that I've ever put up or anything I've ever posted. It never has happened. She will never be doxed by me because, that's, dude, I haven't even, I don't think you understand. I haven't given out addresses. I haven't given out anything that I needed to provide to the police because that's not your information to have as a viewer. And the reality is that's not a veiled threat. That's me saying, I'm getting law enforcement involved. And yes, I know your address.
Why? Why get law enforcement involved when it's not even necessary?
Yes, I know your phone number. Yes, I know your mother. Yes, I know your brother, your father.
Which is weird.
Your next of kin. That's all public record. That's not hard to find. And the reason I have that information is because you've done something to create criminal activity, and I'm reporting it to the police because at this point, that's all.
What exactly is the criminal activity, though? What, inciting a mob? Which Actman's not doing? Or anybody else for that matter. You're just spinning the narrative again.
All I can really do because it's really extreme. It's criminal. And I think the Actman refusing to own this and everybody willing to have a take about me.
You refuse to own anything that you've done.
And trying to make me look like a bad guy as I'm literally sitting here what the fuck is happening? Why are we talking about murder? Why are we literally devolving even further into pretending like this isn't happening? It's weird. It's very weird behavior. And it's really strange.
Why are you continuing to gaslight this? It's something that doesn't make any sense to me. Especially when people aren't really talking about this anymore.
To me, you have multi-millionaires like Azam Gold come out and literally risk all of that by literally getting involved in criminal activity of literally lying about a crime and trying to send a mob after people by saying you threatened his mother with a text. So I'll end this video by asking for this. I ask that all of you relax, cease and desist, but more importantly, I also ask that you file a police report, you subpoena me to show text records or whatever if you suspect anything like that.
And I will ask everyone to not listen to this man because he doesn't know what he's talking about.
That's Big John. That's Little Raj. Where's Ellis? He's
through, of course, whatever lawsuit you are welcome to file on this matter. And then I also want you to show, if you won't do that, show people, prove that those things were said about, you can type anything out, right? Like anybody can say anything on the internet. Like, I want to see your proof. I want to see you show everyone where Quantum said we wouldn't want our families involved in this or to get hurt or all that. I want you to show people that, because you've never done that. And everybody that has ever asked you that, you've run from that comment. All of you have. Asm Gold, fucking Actman, Mischief, all of you run from that. Griffin Gaming, none of you have that. And none of you will ever have that because it never happened. So please stop. Like, seriously, like, honestly, dude, like, you just look weak, honestly, as a man doing this. Like, you really do. Like, it's like how you treat somebody when they're at your mercy that kind of proves your character. And, like, you have me at your mercy with your following. You literally are sitting...
Throw yourself at the mercy of the court and see what happens.
Judge Henry Allen Laudermilk of Austin, Texas, for the arrest and capture, dead or
Go ahead.
a mob at me, and you're literally lying about your mother being threatened to send more people after me, and it's...
Again, we don't know if that was the only correspondence you had with his mother.
Really, like, just stop, dude. Like, that's not okay character or behavior. You mean, like, seriously. So, again, this is the last time I really address all of you guys. Like, Review Tech USA can continue to defend people like Vosh who think that...
And something tells me that there's probably going to be another video being made on this situation because he's not going to be able to let it go.
Child porn should be...
Fan of Vosh. He's never condoned... Rich has never, ever condoned what Vosh has said.
Legalized, the age of consent should be lower. Griffin Gaming can defend using slurs with his friends all the time and nobody really cares because who hasn't said a slur in their life and whatever. All that stuff he can defend as he tries cancel culture, as he also shares private emails, which were, again, he violated two-party consent laws because it never gave consent to...
He didn't violate any two-party consent laws.
Give out my email. You have Mischief who apologizes for racist behavior and whatever else his friends do for the sole purpose of getting on their good side to gain more subscribers.
This was all deflection. This was all deflection. Don't you hate it when you're right?
As he has, because you take care of them, they'll take care of you, kind of thing. I mean, it all really goes full fucking circle. It really does. And at the end of the day, I really don't care about all that shit. I have no interest in any of that childish bullshit. What I do care about, more correctly, is this violent crime that you've threatened against me of shooting on...
No one threatened your life. Jeez.
Site, and I definitely care about you sending people to propagate those values that you've instilled in them of, oh, my mother was threatened, help me to protect myself. Do not do that. Do not do that any further. That is not okay. Okay? And that's the message of this video. Like, stop. Like, you know what you're doing. I'm putting the score out that you know what you're doing. And again,
if that was the point of the video, why wasn't this video like 5 minutes? Why is it 36 minutes 53 seconds? Get to your point and get out. Basically.
Anyone thinking, yet again, for the millionth time, that I'm full of it.
Whatever you're about to watch will be better after a frosting and filling break. Crazy good.
Ask him why on the 23rd, after the phone call that I've published, which was time-stamped and dated in the video, why he said he was moving on, and then only after I made the Power of an Apology video that he'd come out saying he was threatened. And then why is his mother telling him to do things or to try things, making sure that it's not linked to him, What is that? What is she telling you to try?
That's because Actman more than likely asked his mother for advice, and that's the advice she gave him. Do you really think Actman is stupid? I don't think Actman is stupid. I don't think you're stupid, Quantum. I do think the way you're acting right now says volumes of how you are as a human being.
She's telling you to make sure isn't linked to you. Make sure your hands are clean of it, but go ahead and try it. Like, what are you, contracting an assassin now? Like, what is this? Like, I don't understand this. And given that you have a following, given that you know all this, crap that you're doing and you're purposely doing it, I can only assume that it's malicious and it's, malintent behind it. So at the end of the day,
You threatened him with litigation.
you guys really do make being a content creator annoying. I can say that, but I mean, really, at this point, I can't do anything about all the people that are going to download even this video and re-upload it and harass and damage all of my other videos. I can't do anything about that, and I understand that, but
I haven't downloaded anything. And I have no plans to re-upload your original video. Just my reaction to your original video.
And it didn't have to be like this. If you guys would have just did a simple thing, understand people have different opinions on the internet. If you wanted to criticize it, you should have actually criticized it and not actually gone with defamatory, harassing posts like constantly. Like that's what you're doing, right? You know it. And it's just like, that's not criticism. You destroyed the original videos, like ability to profit at all, as I've said again in this video. And I'm repeating myself so that you understand that I know what you've done. And
you're talking in circles.
That's the reason, by the way, in case any of you are wondering why I'm still here on the platform and you're like scratching your head, right? Like you're the typical Actman or Review Tech USA fan. How does he still have a platform? Because I proved to YouTube that you guys damage my videos with endless screenshots of all the endless ratio plus maiden plus L comments you've put. You guys are all coming from these channels to damage my video, and I proved that was the result of their video, and they understood that that's not copyright abuse. So I mean, really, when that
you had another channel before this one that was terminated on the grounds of hate speech. You're ban evading, sir.
That's my reason for filing. You can't claim that I'm abusing the system because you are destroying my video, and that does affect the video.
Even if you destroy the video, it is still considered fair use.
Oh, and when you guys want to try to prove, I say prove very lightly with the very quotation marks, okay? You guys think you proved that I've done things, and then I literally show YouTube the opposite. You can't expect YouTube to take your side because you don't like somebody. And I think that's what you don't understand. And when you don't get the result you want, you can't threaten to kill somebody, and you can't pretend to be the victim of a crime so that you can threaten to kill somebody. That's, again, veiled threats, as you guys like to say, is not something that we do here on YouTube. And I wanted to make this video to make you aware, I see everything, and everything that you're doing is going to be sent off to the detective investigating this. And yes, you heard that correctly. A detective took the case. They are investigating actively, and we are working with a detective to do everything.
Then that detective must be out of his mind. Why hire a detective to begin with, Quantum?
We can to hold those who have done something like this accountable, who have made these threats accountable. I'm not joking.
But there's nothing to take accountability for, though.
About this, I wouldn't ever in a million years joke about something this serious, and that's why I keep telling you, Actman, I want you to stop. Please leave it alone. Don't incite this. Don't.
Says the guy who literally posted on his YouTube community tab, all I wanted to do is be left alone, and this is how you respond. With a smug little... with your... with a smug little look.
I'm just asking. We have to wear them when we ride.
Keep saying thanks for your support to people like Asm Gold or Penguins or all these people like Griffin Gaming. You're going around, you're proving that you're going around when you do that, by the way. You're proving you're showing your hand. You're saying, hey, by the way, thank you for helping me out on this. You're propagating this idea that you were actually victimized, and you weren't. And I can actually prove that in a court of law and to law enforcement, which I have. They have.
What is with your voice?
Let's not forget what
Sounds like,
we gotta kill
almost sounds like synthetic.
The full unblacked out video, by the way, the color video with all my relatives, they have it all. And the fact that you want to pretend like you, God, I really wish you wouldn't do this. I really wish like you would be more of an adult than this, but it is what it is, man.
This guy is sounding more and more like Shawn Michaels in 97. Just saying.
Rather just enjoy my content. Like, I hate videos like this. I genuinely do. I'm not a toxic YouTuber. And the only time I ever do something that's remotely
You're pretty toxic, man.
toxic is when I'm talking about Vincent on HGTV test, like trying to shit on all YouTubers or lie about something, or like I'm pointing out something that's like really weird or like messed up. Like, it's ridiculous. So again, have your opinions, think what you want, but like hopefully this video sums it all up. And I hope that we have some rational people out there that can like look past go and collect $200. So thanks for watching the #1 Brandon Honesty. Again, yet another truth.
Yeah, no, you're not.
I won't say bomb because God knows that'll be like construed and they'll like try to like say, oh, that was a threat. No, another big truth gem. I'm dropping gems of truth. Like, God,
No, you're not.
I have to really correct everything here, don't I? You know, we dropped the truth on you guys yet again, okay? It is not okay to do what you guys are doing. And I hope, like, all you people picking this up and, like, live streaming it and, like, running a take will actually let the full video play out and listen to what I'm saying and actually ask ActMan for the proof and actually trace your steps and be responsible so-called journalist, if that's what you want to call yourself. Because it just run with the narrative, like, black guy unhinged, black guy crazy and bad, like, typical pulling the race card and all this other stuff is, like, I literally got nooses all over my email. Like, that's crazy. Like, what year is it? Like, I didn't even know people still believe that in this day and age, but they do. So it's crazy. So, like, as you do all that, like, seriously, please stop. Like, this is racist behavior. Is racially motivated, and I can prove that again in court as well.
No, it's not. And you can't prove anything in a court of law, my friend.
Well, if you guys wanted to take it there, shown law enforcement, all of this stuff, as I said. And my reason for making this video is really, I just want you guys to leave it alone. Stop while you're behind.
Then quit gaslighting it. Quit gaslighting it, man. You could have ignored all of this from the get-go. But you decided to run your mouth. So quit gaslighting it. If you want to be left alone, leave the people that are bothering you alone, and then you'll be left alone. And then all of this will be water under the bridge. That's all you have to do. It's that simple.
Every German knows that story.
Please, I implore you, do not get involved any further for those who like to inject themselves into things that really they don't understand or they have nothing to do with. Stop. Leave it alone. And everybody can just move on with their lives and make their content their way. That's what this video is for. This isn't a veiled threat. This isn't an attack on anybody or anything. It's to say, hey, leave it. Don't do anything else. Like, seriously, just stop. Thanks for watching #1 Brandon Honesty. And until the next video, see you guys later.
Okay, let's read its comment section now.
There's always going to be a mountain in there somewhere.
F-
Fire-breathing dragon there to guard the mountain.
fair use defense facts. This is why Q is legally correct. The first rule of copyright. Creators should only upload videos that they have made or that they're authorized to use. That means they should not upload videos they didn't make or use content in their videos that someone else owns the copyright to, such as music tracks, snippets of copyrighted programs, and or videos made by other users without necessary authorizations. So, if you take someone's copyrighted material and use it, that's copyright infringement. You're guilty. However, they have a defense called fair use, wherein they make the original work transformative, but that's very subjective to prove in court. Let's continue. According to Stanford law, what is a transformative use? If this definition seems ambiguous or vague, be aware that millions of dollars in legal fees have been spent attempting to define what qualifies as a fair use. There are no hard and fast rules, only general guidelines and varied court decisions. Copyright.gov amount and substantially
I'll take you to Greenville myself, and we'll find where they sent your wife.
of the portion used in relation to the copyrighted work as a whole. Under this factor, courts look at both the quantity and quality of the copyrighted material that was used. If the use includes a large portion of the copyrighted work, fair use is less likely to be found. Courts look at how the party claiming fair use is using the copyrighted work and are more likely to find that nonprofit, educational, and non-commercial uses are fair. Effect of the use, potential market for or value of the copyrighted work. Here, courts review whether and to what extent the unlicensed use harms the existing or future market for the copyright owner's original work. In assessing this factor, courts consider whether the use is hurting the current market for the original work. They don't care what their uses of the original does to the market for the original content. They used footage they didn't create, and regardless of what that usage leads to them simply speaking any words at all on stolen. Don't want to comment because I don't care. Wait.
People with plaque psoriasis are rethinking the choices they make, like the shot they take.
Simply speaking, any words at all on stolen content is fair use. That is fair use, buddy. That's exactly what fair use is. but no one's stealing your content. Okay, let's continue. Love your channel and your honest reviews. Sorry you're going through this. YouTube needs to step in and take action. Thank you. We're shifting gears regardless. Yada yada yada. I reported Actman on Twitter and saying he'll shoot on site. They said it didn't go against the Twitter rules in regard to threats. That's because it didn't. Quantum Squad, let's back our boy up. Let's show up on these fools' channels. A barrage these fools. Heck yes. Hang in there. Here for you, bud. Let's go. Okay, his comment section was all positive. Somehow I find that very hard to believe. But I am Hardcore Christopher. If you want to join the community, hit the big S button down below. Then after that, make sure you ring the bell. Hit all so you know every time I upload a video. Now, if you don't, that's okay. I still respect you. At the end of the day, I'm just glad that you chose to spend a little bit of your time here. And until next time, I'm Hardcore Christopher. Keep it hardcore, everyone.